It was a steady first step into the unfamiliar for Georgia Southern. A convincing win far from home in their first Sun Belt Conference game.
And then to do it all on the road is even bigger.
And now the Eagles go even farther into their future tonight in prime time on national TV with all of Statesboro behind them. Georgia Southern and Appalachian State take their old rivalry to a new level, the highest level of college football, as Sun Belt opponents and FBS competitors. The stakes raised for a decades-old fight.
I think one of the best things about Georgia Southern going to the Sun Belt was the addition also of App State going to the Sun Belt as well.
In Athens, the Bulldogs return to a game that should have their attention for more than a quarter, while the Gamecocks face a serious test in Columbia that will have a definite impact on the SEC East race.
My biggest focus is just trying to worry about our guys doing what we're supposed to do to be prepared, and hopefully we can execute our game plan well enough to win it.
The season is heating up on the first football weekend of fall, and we're getting an early start on it. A special Thursday edition of Tailgating with WTOC.
It's a Thursday in the fall. There's football in Statesboro, and Paulson Stadium is filling up with people and excitement for a game between Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tailgating with WTOC. Tim Guider alongside Christina Tuso. We are live in Statesboro at Paulson Stadium for the very first Sun Belt Conference game that the Georgia Southern Eagles are playing at home. A big game and a big event.
You betcha. They're bringing in the boys from Boone, the third of 7 games they're going to play right here in the state of Georgia. This place is electrifying as people are starting to walk in. I'm told it's going to be a blue out.
Yeah, blue out. We've got family weekend. We've got a lot of side events going on, but you don't need too much else when you've got Georgia Southern and Appalachian State playing. But this is the type of event, this is the type of atmosphere that Georgia Southern had in mind when they made this big move up to the FBS.
Absolutely.
This is not a local event. This is a national event, national television, prime time. Going to put attention on this town and this team.
And it's so good to see that this rivalry did not die in the SoCon, that it brings us up to the Sun Belt Conference as both these teams have joined a new league in football and elevated their game altogether.
Absolutely. They have been playing each other for decades, have been beating each other up. They have beaten each other when they were each number 1. They have traded Southern Conference titles, 19 between them over the years, and now they are taking it all up to the FBS as they move up there together, and it's a rivalry that gets a little bit more intense, I think.
And you can't ask for more being an Eagle fan coming into this game. Right now they're 2-2, 2 hard-fought ACC battles. They lost a total of 5 combined points. They've got a Sun Belt Player of the Week. What more can you ask for?
2 late fumbles keeps them from even being 4-0. Coach Willie Fritz is new to this rivalry, but he knows it is still one of the biggest and oldest that the Eagles have.
Well, I think it's definitely got to be one of them. I think one of the best things about Georgia Southern going to the Sun Belt was the addition also of App State going to the Sun Belt as well. So you had a natural rivalry that the fans could identify with.
This is an old rivalry, but it's all new now as it moves up to the FBS. Last couple years, the Mountaineers have been getting the best of the Eagles. They've won the last 3, 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, and they own the series, so we'll see if the Eagles can bust that up and improve to 3-2 on the year.
All righty, well, this is a big night in Georgia Southern, a special night, and there are some special guests on hand, and Odell Kennedy is standing by with 2 of them.
Talking to a couple of people who know something about leading teams in their own right, GSU President Dr. Brooks Keel, but also Georgia Governor Nathan Deal. Sir, welcome to the prettiest little stadium in America.
Thank you. Nice to be here. It is indeed a beautiful stadium. Good night for a ball game.
To come here and see the spotlight that is on this part of Georgia, to see the growth of this school. Certainly no stranger to Bullitt County. Deals, we've got a lot of those folks. You've got relatives here. You've seen this school grow. How has it grown over just the last decade or so?
Well, it is truly exploded in terms of the student population, in the terms of the courses and the degrees that they're offering. We're very, very proud of Georgia Southern. And they're going to be one of the premier leaders in a new area of manufacturing engineering. Going to be the only one in the state of Georgia and really the only one in the Southeast to offer that degree program.
And Dr. Keel, I think we talked about that at the last game up there at the varsity in Atlanta. Tonight, different spotlight. playing on a national stage. You've called athletics the front porch since you came here. What are folks going to see? And when they look further, what do they find out about this university?
Well, that's the whole purpose. I mean, getting the brand of Georgia Southern, getting the name of Georgia Southern in front of 75 million households is one of the reasons we wanted to make this move. It gives us a chance for kids all over this country to learn about Georgia Southern, take a look at what we have to offer, pull us up on their website and want to come here. So it's a great way to put us on that national stage.
And having one of the premier country stars in America wearing a hat that says Georgia Southern doesn't hurt either. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
When we come back, we're going to talk X's and O's and get ready as the Eagles and the Mountaineers get ready to tangle now on the Sun Belt stage.
I'm John Barra, and I don't vote 85% of the time with anyone. In fact, I voted 54% of the time with Speaker Boehner. I've helped cut $100 billion in wasteful spending. I voted against cap and trade and for the Keystone Pipeline. I'm leading the effort to repeal the Obamacare mandates. The NRA and the Chamber of Commerce have endorsed me, and I vote against Nancy Pelosi as Speaker. I approve this message because I'm not listening to Washington. I listen to Georgia.
They call me the Gator Gal, and I'm a member of the Swamp Chicks. For years, my knees were in constant pain, and it almost kept me out of the water.
Because of Linda's active lifestyle, I felt that a computer-assisted minimally invasive knee replacement was the optimal treatment.
Boy, it's sure great to be back in the kayak again with the Swamp Chicks.
And some gators. Keep her steady, Linda. Keep her steady. And that's why I choose to practice at St. Joseph's Candler.
This car wreck is pulling me down. I have thousands of dollars of hospital bills and no money coming in. I need somebody to help get all these problems off my back.
Car wrecks can seem like big problems if you don't know what you're doing. And not so big if you do. Here you go.
$600,000? Now that's a relief.
Now, I can't guarantee you that much, but if you've been hurt, I can help you get the money you need to solve your car wreck problems. Call me. One call, that's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Closed captioning sponsored by Carl Gregory, home of the Ram Truck Challenge.
Welcome back to Tailgating at Paulson Stadium. Tim Guider, Christina Tuso. We are under 30 minutes away from kickoff between Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. The Sun Belt opener for App State and the first home Sun Belt game for the Eagles.
You betcha. And as you said earlier, Tim, a great rivalry that we have here. But App State seems to have the Eagles' number the last few years. They've won it 3 straight in this series. We're going to see if Georgia Southern can try and change things up tonight.
You know, and both teams are making what we really thought was going to be a difficult transition from FCS up to FBS. The Eagles have done it pretty much seamlessly. They could be 4-0 right now and getting votes in the national poll.
I believe it. And, of course, they're running that incredibly successful, high-energy, solid option football that we're seeing with Willie Fritz right now. Let me throw a few stats at you. Are you ready for this? They have they're averaging 43 points per game, the nation's highest-ranked rushing game. 6 of their players have 100 yards or more.
They generate offense, whether they have whatever coach they have, and Willie Fritz has kept it going. App State comes in off a tough loss last week, had an extra point block with 6 seconds to go, and they were beaten soundly, 52-14 by Michigan earlier in the year. They're having a harder time making the step up. Now, GSU first-year coach Willie Fritz knows that this is a game that is going to have a big part to do with defining the Eagles season.
Well, you got to jump right into it. You know, you got to do a better job with treatment. You got to do a better job with meeting, more attention to detail. You got to be totally focused in everything we're doing. And I think sometimes in a short week, and I've been fortunate, I played a lot of Thursday games. Everybody tries to pack everything in a condensed period of time, and we're not going to do that. We'll back off quite a bit on Wednesday so that we have our legs and we're ready to go on Thursday evening.
This Thursday night atmosphere is unique for Statesboro, not for Willie Fritz. This will be his 20th weeknight game. He has got a 700 winning percentage in those
He's
games.
no rookie to these Thursday night games.
He absolutely is. Now, well, you know, there's a lot more than football going on the campus of Georgia Southern here this weekend. It is family weekend. Dal Kennedy, what are some other things these folks can do here this weekend?
One of the major attractions on the GSU campus is the museum. Britt Tharp is the director there, but just recently the university as well as the Convention and Visitors Bureau for Statesboro have a partnership. The museum now has a new presence in downtown.
That's right. The Museum on Main is a real unique cooperation between the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the History Department at Georgia Southern and their Public History Certificate Program, and the museum. And we'll be building and maintaining a permanent museum and exhibits down there talking about Georgia Southern, the Statesboro, Bullock County history for people to really get a good context for visitors coming in town to know the history and culture of this area.
When you think about the number of visitors, the number I heard, 100,000 a year of folks coming into town, a lot of them GSU parents, but a lot of them visitors coming for a ball game. They see that there is so much else to do and see in Statesboro, Bullock County. They're going to come back for more. You and the CVB have an opportunity to bring those folks back.
Yeah, that's right. This exhibit hopefully is going to attract a lot of folks in, bring them in there with some really unique artifacts, but also some activities and other things. We have students who are building these, but also a graduate assistant who's working down there with the CVB that'll be doing programming and other things along with this to attract folks in.
So let's see, we got part welcome center, part museum, and part classroom. That's pretty efficient use of space, huh?
That's right. Yeah, we're getting all three of those functions in there, and so it's a great way for those students to build their resumes and their portfolios before they go out in the field to work in public history all over the U.S.
So if you get the chance, if you're in Statesboro, go by on South Main. It's the place that used to be Shoney's, but you wouldn't recognize it now. So stop by there, see a little bit. You'll enjoy the visit. When we come back, believe it or not, there are some other games going on around the Southeast this weekend. We'll talk about those when we come back.
Nothing makes me happier than helping you save money. It all starts here, the weekly ad. Page after page of great deals on top of in-store specials. Coupons. You got them? We'll take them. Oh, then there's my favorite part. BOGOs. Buy one, get one free on all the stuff you love? Yes, please. Oh, look, there's one. There's another one here. They're all over the store. See, you can save money at the same place you love to shop without even asking. Let's start saving. Come on. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The thyroid is a gland at the base of your neck that controls blood pressure, body temperature, heart rate, and metabolism. This year, about 63,000 people will get thyroid cancer. Talk to your doctor if you have a lump, swelling, or pain in your neck, hoarseness or voice changes, trouble swallowing or breathing, or a constant cough. To learn more, visit memorialhealth.com.
Mike Costello. Mike Costello. Mike Costello. Mike Costello. Listen to me. Call 7. Mike Costello. No, you're not bothering me. When you call our office, we make a personal connection with every client. We believe in customer service and making every client feel right at home. Mike Costello, call me now.
I go to Washington to fight for Georgia and what we believe in.
John Barrow runs for re-election, telling us he shares our conservative values. He hasn't told the truth. Barrow received a perfect score from the leading pro-abortion group, and John Barrow voted for taxpayer-funded abortions on issues that matter, from life to spending to jobs to Obamacare. Barrow votes with them, not us. The National Republican Congressional Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome back to Tailgating. The teams have left the field in preparation for kickoff. The band getting ready to take over. So it gives us an opportunity to talk about maybe some other games going on this weekend. And hopefully the one in Athens is a little bit more interesting than last week's game in Athens.
I think, last week was probably best classified as a glorified scrimmage.
Yeah, it really was. 66-14. You were there. I mean, did it look as lopsided as just pretty much boring as it
Let's
did
put it this way. If there is any question that Georgia has a lack of offensive weapons, I think that is completely put to rest after last week, especially seeing guys like Sony Michel come to life. 3 touchdowns, 155 yards. There you see Gurley held to just 73
Not a
yards.
lot of action for him. He only had 6 carries, only played the first series. But that gave the Dogs an opportunity to play a lot of different players and really see what some of the young players could do. As you said, Sony Michel was one of them. Now, there still are some questions about the Dogs' defense, and Tennessee, who comes in town this week, is a team that can test it because they might be 10th in the SEC in passing, but stopping that passing game will be key to the Bulldogs' success Saturday.
We know Tennessee have a great bunch of wide receivers, fundamental sound, fast, big type guys. So it's a challenge, and when the challenges are up, you should always want to accept it. And this will be a great time for us to, still build our identity as a defense and offense-wise. So this game is going to be a real fun game to play in.
Tennessee always plays a great game whenever they come to Athens or when we go to Knoxville. So we know that this is going to be a hard-fought battle and that Tennessee is going to play 4 quarters of great football.
Really questioning the Dogs' defense, but I think this could be Pruitt's time to shine. I think Tennessee's offensive weapons are kind of pedestrian. I think that his secondary might actually have a time to step up and get through to Justin Worley.
He goes back to some of that press coverage that worked so well against Clemson. Didn't really work against Carolina.
Absolutely.
And speaking of Carolina, they played the biggest game in the SEC this week. College game day will be in Columbia for Missouri coming to town to play the Gamecocks.
You betcha. And this could actually leave the SEC wide open with the results of this game. And you know what I love about Spurrier? He's never happy with the results of the game. Against Vandy, he called it embarrassing. He told us that the Dogs' win was just lucky. He's never happy. They may as well have been losses.
Yeah, well, they're finding ways to win, but the head ball coach still not satisfied.
Well, it's always frustrating for coaches when you can't quite get your players to play at a level that you need to. And it was embarrassing last game. There's no question about that. I think every Gamecock that watched it on TV, it was there, said, man, that was an embarrassing performance at times. But we are in the habit of something happening to help us win a bunch of games that we easily could have lost. As we all know, a few bad bounces, we probably could have lost every game this year.
Well, that's a 7 o'clock kickoff in Columbia, but another team that is going to have some time to themselves this week, Georgia Tech, off a tremendous win at Virginia Tech last week.
The only undefeated team that we're really following right now. They busted a 5-game losing streak against the Hokies. They may not be playing in the ACC this week, but get this, we've got Justin Thomas and Paul Davis Players of the Week.
Yeah, this is a team that was a touchdown down with 4 minutes to go, 4th and 15 on their own side of the field. They convert that, they force a turnover. Then they go on, they kick a field goal to win the game on the final play. I think they're happy to get to the break 4-0.
Absolutely. Rally through those fourth quarters. And, of course, this team was really talking about chemistry. I think they've capitalized on that.
All right, another game tomorrow, Saturday. Savannah State going up to Delaware. It's going to be the MEAC opener for both teams. Savannah State, of course, looking for their first win of the season.
Absolutely. And, of course, that Fort Valley game was such a heartbreaker. That was the only team they beat last season, but it's time to pick yourselves up, dust yourself off, and get back to work, I guess.
All right. Well, Christina gave you a little tease of what the Georgia Southern offense has been doing. When we come back, we're going to take a look at just how well the Eagles have been moving the ball when we return on Tailgating with WTOC.
The final days of the Ram Truck Challenge at Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We still have to sell 50 new Rams this month, so we're giving you our best deals on every Ram truck. Like the new Ram 1500 for only $249 a month. Plus, shop from the largest Ram selection. Over 250 available. Nobody else in the Low Country has this many trucks. Nobody. But you can only get these deals at Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Savannah and Brunswick.
Carl Gregory sells them.
This car wreck is weighing me down. I've got bill collectors calling, my car is totaled. I really need somebody to help me get these problems off my back.
Car wrecks can seem like big problems if you don't know what you're doing. And not so big if you do. Here you go.
$280,000? Now that's a relief.
Now, I can't guarantee you that much, but if you've been hurt, I can help you get the money you need to solve your car wreck problems. Call me. One call, that's all.
1-800-CALL-KEN.
Go, team, go! Before my surgery, my doctors kept me from cheering loud. Go, team, go! Go, team, go!
Annabelle had been sick a lot. She experienced frequently swollen tonsils and chronic sore throats that kept her out of action. Both were successfully removed at the Children's Place at Candler Hospital.
Go, Dr. Raleigh, you're a man. If you can't do it, no one can.
Now that's why I choose to practice at the Children's Place at Candler Hospital.
It's
Hyundai's final clearance sales event with clearance pricing on all 2014 Hyundais. Our entire lineup is priced to move fast with 0% financing for 60 months or get $2,000 in bonus cash. And new Hyundais as low as $159 a month lease. Get huge clearance savings with 0 to it signing, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month payment on every 2014 Hyundai. These deals won't last. Visit buyhyundai.com to find a dealer in Hilton Head or Savannah near you.
Welcome back to Tailgating. We're closing in on kickoff, Georgia Southern Appalachian State. That's 7:30, and, the Mountaineers better be ready for an offensive assault tonight because the Eagles have been putting up yards and points.
So dynamic, and Kevin Ellison has been outstanding for this team this year under center. I don't think he's necessarily known for passing. I think he's 24 for 39, but when he does, watch out, he'll make it count.
Well, the Eagles have introduced themselves in style to the Sun Belt Conference. Take a look at some of the statistical categories that they are doing well in. Either first or second in 6 different ones, 43 points a game, 517 yards a game. Keep in mind also, App State gave up 560 yards to Michigan.
That 517 is, of course, the second ranked in the nation, too. Something to be proud of.
And when they get close, they're punching it in. You see they're 72% scoring in the red zone, and they're tops in third down conversion. So this is something that will wear a defense down. You know, it's not exactly what they were doing in the past with the triple option, but it applies a lot of the same principles.
But let's keep in mind, too, something else going to wear those defenses down is Matt Breida, as Sun Belt Player of the Week. Of course, he absolutely nailed South Alabama last week, 187 yards, 9 yards
This
a
is
carry.
the guy who on the ESPN 3 broadcast last week was being compared to Marshawn Lynch at the Seattle Seahawks.
That is not bad. Not a bad comparison.
Well, Coach Willie Fritz knows that this offense is a little bit different than what he's run in the past, but because the Eagles changed things up last year with all the injuries they had, they ran a lot of triple option out of the shotgun. It's really helped them make this transition to a new system.
There were some similarities. They ran some pistol and some shotgun, some zone read, some triple option out of it, and they introduced some of the line blocking patterns that we use as well. But by and large, it's quite a bit different, especially for the receivers and the offensive line.
Well, what's not different is the production. They are still putting up tremendous numbers. We want to speak softly because the national anthem is playing.
Getting
but
closer
once
to
again, the
game time.
Eagles are dominant offensively.
You betcha. PlayStation numbers.
All right, well, again, family weekend here at Georgia Southern. Dow Kennedy standing by with another guest.
Joining me now is Logan Franks from the GSU admission office. Now, Logan, there are probably some parents and some brothers and sisters that are here tonight, but tomorrow family weekend gets underway in earnest.
Correct.
What are folks going to be able to do?
So tomorrow night they're going to be able to attend an outdoor movie hosted by the Office of Student Activities and the University Programming Board out on Sweetheart Circle. There's also going to be lots of different games and activities out there. But Saturday is our big event, and it's going to be in conjunction with downtown Statesboro. We're going to have on and off campus vendors as well as a kids zone and live music and just a bunch of stuff for them to do down there to get to know the city of Statesboro.
And if folks have not registered yet, there's still a few openings. They can come in on Friday.
Correct. We'll never turn anyone away. We want everybody to be able to come and join us for this weekend.
All right, Logan, thank you for joining us over here.
Thank you.
Tim, Christina, back to you.
All right, well, fans still filing in, stadium still filling up, and this is going to be a tremendous night. Georgia Southern Appalachian State always put on a show.
And let's hope that Hugo doesn't rear its ugly head on the 25th anniversary of the Hugo Bowl.
We had a little drizzle earlier tonight, but I don't think it's anything like they played through here on a Thursday night in Paulson Stadium 25 years ago. Hurricane Hugo stopped by for a game. That was only the second ESPN Thursday night game ever played, and it was played right here in Statesboro.
Showcase with 50-mile-an-hour winds. Not a bad way to make your debut.
All righty, well, folks settling into Paulson Stadium, we come back, we'll take a look at what's going on in other games around the country.
I'm Michelle Nunn, and I approve this message.
The responsibilities of being a manager for Dollar General is basically everything. It's constant all day long. I found out about the class action lawsuit, and I fit into that category of being paid less than a male manager in the same store. The CEO of Dollar General was David Perdue, and I'm sure that anything that happened was with his approval. I have nothing against David Perdue personally, but he didn't treat us right.
Look at those toys. Insurance must be expensive. Nah.
I bet he's got an Allstate agent. They can save you up to 30% more by bundling your policy.
Well, his dog's stupid.
Poodles are one of the world's smartest breeds. Bundle and save with an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
In Georgia and South Carolina, call the Palmer Agency, your local Allstate agent.
Washington's spending is out of control, and Rick Allen would not help. Allen's companies made $184 million from government spending. Allen's projects even went over budget by nearly $1 million. Think he'll control spending? $184 million says no. John Barrow has a real record of opposing wasteful projects, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions. You can bet on John Barrow to protect Georgia taxpayers. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Our insurance claim is still your gain at Fairway Lincoln on Abercrombie. Now that we repaired our roof, we're taking a break to cool off. We've accepted the Ice Bucket Challenge, and we nominate you in support of ending ALS. On Saturday, October 4th, we'll donate up to $40 per household for every test drive in a new Lincoln. And every single new Lincoln we sell between now and October 31st, we'll also be donating $100 to the ALS Association. Let's all give something back, Savannah. Do you accept the challenge?
They were getting ready to take the field on a very exciting night in Statesboro, but one touched by sadness earlier this week, the loss of a former Eagle.
That's right. Rob Barones passed away last week. He was a former Georgia Southern Eagle, gone Tennessee Titan. He was in the NFL for 9 years, and it was amazing to see the response that came out.
Yeah, he was at Auburn, was kicking at Auburn, had been named the preseason SEC kicker going into his senior year, was not named the starter. Tommy Tuberville did not name him the starter, so he transferred. His brother was playing soccer at Georgia Southern, so he came. He was the kicker on the 2000 Georgia Southern National Championship team. Single car accident on Sunday, lost his life. One of his former teammates remembered him this week.
It was devastating. I talked to him about a month ago, just about trying to get him down here for a game, and he was excited about it. And he, Rocco, myself were just all kind of planning on some type of date where he can get back down here with all the boys, and because it's been a while. He was a tremendous guy, tremendous friend, and a leader in that community, and it's just a shame.
Okay, well, Rob Barones was buried earlier today in Nashville, and very sad for his family, very sad for his Georgia Southern family.
Absolutely, and what a guy. He had an incredible career. I think he broke a record when he was with the Titans, 11 game-winning field goals.
Freedom has entered the stadium, the Georgia Southern mascot. Big game here tonight, but also a big game on WTOC right after tailgating. The NFL package on Thursday nights. We've got the Giants and the Redskins kicking off tonight, and an NFC East matchup. That's always a tough game. And then we got to come see you tomorrow night.
That's right, for WTOC's The End Zone alongside Ken Greiner and Rick Snow. All of your high school action is coming to you. We'll start that at 11:30. And don't forget, we're tweeting now at WTOC Sports. We want to hear your scores. We want to hear what you think about the show.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Tailgating. Join us again next week, back on Friday. Enjoy Georgia Southern, Appalachian State. Have a great night, everyone.
Trucking companies have no